Hello students, welcome to yet another experiment of your from your chemistry lab, and this time it is from the chemical kinetics. The title of the experiment is determination of velocity constant, or what is also referred to as the rate constant. I am V Ramanathan, and myself and my colleague Dr. Jayakumar Kandasamy are going to introduce this experiment to you. The aim of this experiment is the determination of rate constant for the hydrolysis of ethyl acetate using sodium hydroxide. The rate constant, represented by the letter K, it quantifies the speed of any chemical reaction, say A plus B, giving rise to the product C. We usually write it as the rate equation as R is equal to K times concentration of A raised to the power M, concentration of B raised to the power N, where M and N are the orders with respect to A and B respectively, and overall order of this reaction will be M plus N. And as you might have studied in your theory, order of a reaction is only experimentally determined. It cannot be inferred by looking at a balanced equation. So this the equation the reaction that we are going to consider or you're going to perform is the hydrolysis of ethyl acetate. So where ethyl acetate reacts with sodium hydroxide to give sodium acetate and ethanol. It's interesting to note that hydrolysis of ester can happen in acidic medium, as well as it can also when it happens in the acidic medium, the order of a reaction is found to be different, and it reacts with the when the hydrolysis happens in a basic medium, it is found that the reaction is of second order, and it is first order with respect to each of this reactant, namely ethyl acetate and sodium hydroxide. And in this particular experiment, we are going to follow the course of the reaction by looking at the change in the concentrations of sodium hydroxide during the course of the reaction. So to represent it in a very simpler way, although this is A plus B, I am still abbreviating or reducing it to just 2A giving rise to product, because the final expression that you get is not going to get affected, because with this the expression is easier to follow. So the rate expression can be written as K times A power 2, and when you differentiate and integrate that, you get a final expression where 1 by A is equal to 1 by A naught plus Kt, where A naught is your initial concentration of the species, reacting species, A, whose concentration at any given point in time is A. So with this just simple algebra, you can finally get an expression A naught minus A divided by A into A naught is equal to Kt. Now you can convince that this A naught, the initial concentration can be A, and if X is a reacting species, then at any given point of time, the unreacted A, which is what is appearing in this expression, can be looked upon as A minus X. So this is what we have the final expression, that X by A into A minus X is equal to your Kt. So this is the expression that you will be using for determining the rate constant. And as I told you, this reaction, you're going to monitor the change of concentration of sodium hydroxide alone. So let me briefly tell you the materials required. Apparatus, you require all the titration apparatus, namely the conical flasks, the beaker, pipette, burette, dropper, burette stand, and few other required stuffs for the to do the titration. For chemicals, you require N by 40 ethyl acetate, N by 40 sodium hydroxide, and N by 20 hydrochloric acid. So now let me also briefly explain to you what's the procedure of this experiment. So initially take 50 ml of ethyl acetate and sodium hydroxide, both of them whose concentration is N by 40. You take 50 ml of each and mix them in a beaker. Mind you, when you mix them, the reaction has already started. The reaction has begun. Now, after you have mixed them, you pipette out 10 ml of this mixture and transfer it to a conical flask. And to this conical flask, you add 10 ml of hydrochloric acid and start the stopwatch when the last drop of hydrochloric acid gets transferred. So, what are you doing in this step? You are essentially stopping the reaction. Remember, when you mixed ethyl acetate and sodium hydroxide, reaction has begun. Now, when you have taken 10 ml of that and transferred to a different conical flask, by adding HCl, you have essentially stopped the reaction. By stopping the reaction, what's happening is that there are some unreacted ethyl acetate, unreacted sodium hydroxide, and to that unreacted sodium hydroxide, this hydrochloric acid is going to react and it's going to consume the sodium hydroxide, and thereby the reaction is stopped. But there will be some amount of hydrochloric acid also left unreacted. So you are going to estimate that unreacted hydrochloric acid by titrating it against sodium hydroxide using phenolphthalein as the indicator. So this is indirectly by we are getting the amount of sodium hydroxide that has undergone reaction with ethyl acetate in the beginning of the reaction. So this when you do this first titration, you will get the whatever burette reading you get, that is your V0, and you have to repeat this 5 to 6 times, steps 2 and 3, and the subsequent uh, in the subsequent iterations, you have to note down the time when the last drop of HCl gets transferred. Remember the stopwatch, once you start it for the first titration, it never gets stopped. You note down the time when the last drop of HCl is getting transferred in the subsequent steps. So again, you have to do the titration. And for the subsequent steps, the volume, the burette reading you get is designated as VT. Finally, you have to heat the reaction mixture, the original initial reaction mixture on a water bath, and then you repeat steps 2 to 4. And then the end point of this titration is what is referred to as V infinity. Now, with this, essentially, you in the table tabular column, you are going to populate the first two entries. The first one being the serial number, the second and the third, where the second column is your time. So, initially, the first titration, obviously, your time is 0, and as I said, the volume that you get in the burette is V0. And for subsequent iterations, yeah, I'm just taking an example of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30, but it could be 6 minutes, it could be even 7 minutes. That's why I'm designating them as some arbitrary time t1 to t6. Remember, this is a time where you're noting down from the stopwatch when the last drop of HCl is getting transferred. So you get these readings from the burette, V0, then VT1 to VT6, and finally after heating the reaction mixture, when you perform the same steps, you get the reading which is V infinity. Now, the next three columns are thus in your tabular column, where the fourth one is X. You get the X by computing. For the first entry, there won't be any value. From second onwards, it is Vt minus V0. So like that, you will get all the way from Vt1 to Vt6. And A is your V infinity value minus the V0 value. So that's how you can get the A and X, and you can compute this fraction here and populate this column. And once you have this column, K is essentially easy. We have to just multiply this fraction by 1 by T, and whatever you get the T in this first column, and thereby you will get the rate constants at each step. Finally, you will also be getting the rate constant when you plot this term and the y-axis, and by taking time in the x-axis. Because you remember this expression here is essentially like y is equal to mx, where y is your fraction and m is your slope, that is k, and x is your time. So once we have that, you get a points scattered along a straight line, and when you join them, the line will pass through the origin, and the slope of this line is your rate constant. And that's how you will determine the rate constant for this reaction. And as I told you, ester hydrolysis using a base turns out to be a second order reaction. Hence, the unit of this rate constant would be liter per mole per minute. And the same reaction, if you happen to do it under the acidic condition, there the reaction is found to be first order in kinetics. So as you can see, when you do the same reaction under different acidic or basic condition, the order of the reaction varies. So now my colleague, Dr. Jaykumar, will demonstrate how to do this experiment step by step.
Explaining the experiment of determination of velocity constant, or also called as the rate constant of the hydrolysis of ethyl acetate by sodium hydroxide. In the morning you have seen already that Dr. Ramanathan has explained the principle of this experiment, the theory of this experiment is involved in this reaction. Here I am explaining you how to do this experiment in the laboratory by practical. Before starting the experiment, I would like to explain you what are the elastomers and what are the chemicals you need for doing this experiment. So here we have a sodium hydroxide M by 40 in volume. Then we have the M by 40 ethyl acetate solution. Then we have the N by 20 HCl solution, and you are having phenolphthalein indicator. Okay, these are the four reagents that you need for doing this experiment. In addition, as a glassware pot, you need to have a conical flask which is used for the titration process. Then you will need to have a 2 measuring cylinder. I will show you for the use of this measuring cylinder. Then you have a conical flask which is containing a stopper on the top. Then you need to have a pipette. You should have at least 2 pipettes for doing this experiment. Okay, so you are having one burette over here which is used for the titration purpose. Here already filled with sodium hydroxide solution for the titration process. Okay, so these all the things we will able to, with all these things we will be able to do the experiment. Finally, the most important thing that you need to have the stopwatch, because this is a kinetics experiment. So you need to know the time of this every titration procedure. You need to note down the time. So this stop clock will be used for this purpose. Yes. Okay. So now I will explain you the procedure how to do this experiment. Okay. I am reading this procedure. Just listen very carefully. Then we will do stepwise one by one. As per the procedure, take 50 ml of M by 40 ethyl acetate and N by 40 sodium hydroxide in 2 separate conical flasks and mix them together in a stopper conical flask. Okay. So what it is, which is N by 40, and you are having ethyl acetate which is M by 40. We need to take 50 ml of each and keep it in a measuring cylinder and mix it in stopper containing conical flask. So this is the meaning of this one. Start. So now I am measuring a sodium hydroxide 50 ml by using the measuring cylinder. So now it is 50 ml. Okay, so now I have already measured the sodium hydroxide, then I am going for ethyl acetate. I have another measuring cylinder. So now I have maybe 1 drop more needed to reach exactly the 50 ml. Yes. So now each 50 ml I have already measured in the measuring cylinder. As per the procedure that we have to mix together in a stopper containing conical flask. So I am mixing sodium hydroxide and ethyl acetate. I am closing it and I am shaking it one time then I am storing it over here. So this is the mixture of sodium hydroxide and ethyl acetate, 1:1 stock solution. The next step of the procedure is that we have to take 10 ml of the reaction mixture from here, then transfer to another conical flask for doing the titration process. Okay, so before going for the titration, we have to add naphthalene indicator and 10 ml of HCl. So I am doing stepwise. You can see it what I am doing it. I am using this pipette for taking 10 ml of the stock solution to the another conical flask. So you have to use only one pipette all the time. That you should not change every time a new pipette over here. We don't need that one. So I have measured a 10 ml of stock solution. I am adding to the flask. In the meantime, I am closing this lid so that there will be no evaporation of ethyl acetate and the concentration of the reaction mixture. So I have taken the 10 ml of solution from the stock. Now, as per the procedure, I need to add 10 ml of hydrochloric acid, that is N/20 hydrochloric acid, to this mixture. Then immediately I should stop the stopwatch to go further. So I am using this pipette for the HCl solution. I am adding over here. Now you see very carefully that once the last drop of the HCl is dropped into the flask, then I am going to switch on the stopwatch. Okay. Now all the HCl has been dropped over here. So now I am immediately starting the. It is the 0 radian. So now your solution is ready for the titration. As I said previously, that we should add a naphthalene, approximately 4 drops you have to add, and every time you should add the same drops, 2, 3, 4. Now shake it well. Then now you can titrate against the sodium hydroxide, which is already loaded in the burette. You can see that there is an appearance of pink color already in your reaction mixture. Then you should be very careful. You have to add the sodium hydroxide very dropwise over here to find the exact end point. So we have reached an end point. It's the pink color. Okay. The pink color. So you can consider the first end point of this reaction. So now the value is 19.9 milliliter. 19.9 milliliter. Then whatever we had the milliliter of sodium hydroxide was 19.9. Okay. Now I am again refilling the sodium hydroxide in the burette to make the experiment, to make the ready for next experiment. One little flask, and it take another 10 ml of the stock solution for doing the second experiment. Then the next step is the addition of HCl. Okay, now you just note down that when I finish the addition of HCl, you should note the timing in the stopwatch. So that is the second timing of your experiment. So it is done. Now if you see it is a 5.20 seconds, 5 minutes 20 seconds. As I say again, you need to add the phenol. And shake it well. Then you start again the titration again, sodium hydroxide. The pink color started to appear in the flask, so we should be very careful by drop wise we have to add the sodium hydroxide. So we have already reached the end point of the second titration. Okay, so it's not disappearing. Maybe if needed, maybe one drop more we can add to ensure that the end point is reached. So now, second end point of this. The value of the second reading was 20.9. We are getting the 20.9 value. So again I am refilling the sodium hydroxide first to start the third titration. So again we have to repeat the procedure, that we have to take 10 ml from the stock solution. Then addition of 10 ml HCl. Now we have to note down the time exactly when the last drop of HCl was put on the conical flask. So now the time is 10, we need 45 seconds. Note down this one here, 10 minutes 45 seconds. So So this is the third end point of this reaction. The value is 21.6. So I am trying for the fourth titration now. I have already taken the 10 ml of the stock solution. So what I did, I forgot to add the sodium hydroxide so far, so I wanted to refill the sodium hydroxide with burette before the addition of hydrochloric acid in the conical flask. This is the first step we should do. So now, taking another 10 ml of acid from here. Putting to the flask of the stock solution. Now we should look at the stopwatch. What is the time? Because I'm adding the last drop of HCl over here. We already added. Stopwatch saying that 15 minutes 40 seconds. 15 minutes 40 seconds. So now I'm adding a 4 drops of phenolphthalein over here. Titrating against sodium hydroxide. We are reaching almost the nearby endpoint. It's already enough. Now the reading of this one is 22.1. So 22.1. So now we have taken 1, 2, 3, 4 readings we have taken, and we have to take another 3 readings. So before taking the next reading, as I said, the first we have to fill the sodium hydroxide solution, the burette. In taking another conical flask, take the 10 ml of stock solution from here. Take another 10 ml of hydrochloric acid. So now you should be very careful to note the timing, the stopwatch. You are at the last graph and the top stopwatch telling 19.59, so we can write as a 20. Already 20 is here. Now I am adding 1 drop of phenolphthalein, 4 drop of phenolphthalein over here. I am again titrating. This side. So we got the fifth reading now. Now the value is 22.5. So the value is 22.5.
अभी सर जो है
So I am measuring the stock solution for the sixth reading. So now I need to add the hydrochloric acid. So I have already the last over here. If I note the time now, it's 24.10 seconds. Instead of 25, it's 24.10 seconds. I'm adding 4 drop of phenolphthalein over here.
yeah
In the sixth titration now, I'm reaching almost the end point. ये विंडो क्लोज होना चाहिए. Most I'm getting the end point already I've got. We can add one more, 2 more drops. Yeah. So now the end point you've reached exactly. So now the value is 22.7, which is not increased much from the previous one, but a slight increasement is there. So we'll go for one more reading now. Before going, I'm just refilling the sodium dioxide. उसके बाद ना, इसके बाद ना, so I'm taking the last before the titration one. That is, after this titration, we will go for the infinitive timing experiment. We take on the start solution. 10 ml of HCl. So we have to note down the watch time now is 29.20. So 29.20, say 29 minutes 20 seconds now. After the addition of phenolphthalein, titrating. This is the next one. So before the final one, the reading is 22.9. So which means the increase is slightly reduced now. So now we have to go for the infinitive. For taking the infinitive reading, that first we have to heat this solution in a water bath, approximately the temperature of 50 to 60. And so that all the ethyl acetate will be hydrolyzed by the sodium hydroxide, then we should be able to measure the sodium hydroxide during the titration. So this is the water bath. Already the water is boiled inside in the temperature of around 70 to 80, but water temperature will be around 50 to 60 over here, and the vapors are coming from the inside. So you need to close this lid with some paper so that no vapor will go out, so that the concentration of the solution will be the same. So I am heating the solution. The process of this heating the reaction mixer is about 10 minutes. Okay, you can see the wall slowly that evaporation takes place, so we should not allow for that, and we just take it out at this point of time and stir it for some time. Okay, the procedure is the same as like that. You have to take 10 ml of stock solution from here. the addition of hydrochloric acid. So this time you don't need to look the watch because this is the infinity reading, and also we have heated the reaction mixer, and therefore there is no meaning to check the timing of this experiment, the addition of hydrochloric acid. Now I need to add again 4 drops of phenolphthalein followed by the titration. Right. Already I have filled the sodium hydroxide. Going for some final titration. Now this color is quite stable. The final value of this after 1 and 23.4. So the infinity we got 23.4. So the most important thing in this value, what you should understand, that by increase in time, the volume of sodium hydroxide will be more consumed because more amount of acetic acid formed in the reaction and ethanol is hydrolyzed. Okay, good morning students. So I have already told you how to perform the experiment in the laboratory, and I have also shown all the details of chemicals and glasswares required, and how to do the titrations, how to write the readings and values, all the things I have explained just some time ago. So now I would like to explain you how to make a calculation. Okay, so this is the model calculation that has been done by some students last year, and I am explaining how the calculations were made. And based on this, whatever the value I have given you yesterday, that for that value you will do calculation yourself. Then you will try to drop a graph based on the explanation that I am giving you today. Okay, so just listen here. So what we have measured yesterday, we have measured a time, and according to the time, what is the volume of sodium hydroxide is consumed here. The first is the serial number. Okay, the second one is the time in minute, and volume of sodium hydroxide, whatever we have used for the titration, is this is the volume of sodium hydroxide at 0 minute, then it's 19.3, and 4.38 minutes is 20.6, 20 minutes that we have 21.1. So something like that. It's increasing in order. Okay, so this is the calculation was this reading was taken by some of the students in the last year. So I'm explaining this calculation. Now we have to calculate x. Okay, you have to calculate the x. So x is nothing but Vt minus V0. Vt means that the word time. So that is Vt. So this is the first reading is the V0. After the first reading, whatever it comes is the Vt. And the last reading, whatever we have heated the flask, then after that we have made a titration, that is the infinitive. So this is V infinitive, this is V0, all are Vt. Okay. So now x is equal to is what is Vt minus V0. So 19.3 minus 19.3, so there is always a 0, so there is no value for the first reading. But when you make a Vt minus V0, that 20.6 minus 19.3 is 1.3. Similarly, 21.1 minus 19.3 is 1.8. 21.3 minus 19.3 is 2.0. 21.7 minus 19.3 is 2.4. 21.1 minus 19.3 is 2.8. Okay, and 23.8 minus 19.3 is equal to 4.5. Here what you have to also understand, this is A. Okay, the A will be used in the next calculation over here. So this is A. So now we have seen V0 is 19.3, V infinity is 23.8, that A is equal to V infinity minus V0 is 4.5. So this is A. Okay, this is A. And X is equal to Vt minus V0 that we have already calculated. So now you have the value of X and you also have the value of A. Okay, this is the value of A. Then substitute in this equation X by A into A minus X. Okay, if you substitute for the first reading, it's a 0. The second one, if you substitute 1.3, then you will get 9.0 in 10 power minus 2. And the second values for 1.8, 14.8 in 10 power minus 2 you will get. And you have to substitute this X and A value over here, then you will be able to calculate for all the numbers, whatever is given over here. Not necessary that you should use for this infinity one. You don't need to get any value for this one. Okay. This is one of the method of calculation. So now the rate constant is equal to K is equal to X by A into A minus X into T. So if you divide this X by A into A minus X by the T, then you will get the rate constant. So for the first one is 0, then after that you can see the rate constants coming 2.05, 1.64, 1.65, 1.37, 1.58, all are 10 power minus 2. This is quite similar, almost the rate constant is the same. So in order to make final rate constant of this reaction, we can make the mean value of this all. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 readings you are having. So you add all of them together and divided by 5 to get the mean value, that is the average of rate constant is 1.65 into 10 power minus 2. So I'm just added 2.05 plus 1.64 plus 1.65 plus 1.37 plus 1.58 divided by 5. Okay. Yeah. So I have added all the values together, then divided by 5. Then you are going to get the average rate constant is 1.65 into 10 power minus 2 liter per mole per minute. Okay, this is the one. So now we have to do a graph from which we can also calculate the rate constant using the slope value. Okay, so I am explaining how to make a graph. So you have to make a graph as per the theory was already discussed. As per the graph, you have to make a graph time versus X by A into A minus X. Okay. Now, time versus graph will be made from time versus X by A into A minus X. So whatever the time we have given, these are the time in minutes: 0, 4.38, 9.20, 13.30, 18.45, 21.0, 23.10. So these are the in minutes. Okay. In order to minimize the error in this, what I have done, I have just calculated this time as a second, in a second. So I calculated that 4.38 minutes is equivalent to 278 seconds. So similarly, I have calculated all the minutes value to the seconds. So this will be in the x-axis. The time will be in the x-axis of the graph. And the x by A into A minus X, this value as such, whatever we have calculated from this table, just I have added over here. So this will be in the y-axis. Okay. Now you have a graph here. Yeah. Now you see the graph. This is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. The x-axis time. The time is given in second. So I have taken the value of 100, 200, 300 is the x-axis I have added here, and according to this x by A into A minus X value, I have divided this graph as 2 bar as the 5 unit. So you can have, okay, the y-axis I have made 2 bar as 5 unit. Okay, so 5, then 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. We can go up to that, but whatever we have the value up to 36.6, so it will be sufficient up to 41. Now you have to make a points according to this one. You just see carefully. So I am just making through second. 278 unit in the time, and we have the 9.0. So this is 200 and this is 300. So 200 to 300 between, you are having the 278 over here. 9.0, so below to the 10. So the first point has been made over here. Now if you see the second point, that is a 560 second, the value of x by a into a minus x, 14.8 in 10 power minus 2. So you can see the 560s will be between the 500 to 600, then value 14.8, that is just below to the 15 over here. So similarly, that you make a point of 810 versus 22.0 over here. This is the third one. Then 1125 to 25.4, so over here. The last value, that is 1390 seconds, is over here. It is around 1400, and you are having 36.6. So you are having the 36.6 over here. So now we have made 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots we have made over here. Points we have kept, 5 points we have captured over here. Now we need to make the straight line across the origin. So the line has to cross through the origin. So you can see the line which is already we have made to this one. It goes to origin, which is 0. Okay. So now you can see the graph is very nice because the error seems to be very less. Like you have 1 point over here and another 1 point over here, and all other 3 lines are around very nearby, is matching with the straight line. So the next one is you have to calculate the slope. How to calculate the slope? So you have to take the x unit and the y unit. If you calculate and see this one, the length of this lines is 320 seconds. Okay, according to this calculation. Okay, 320 seconds, and according to this portion, the x by a into a minus x, 8.4 into 10 power minus 2 over here. These lines you can see the total length of this slope. So slope is equal to 8.4 by 5.33. Why 5.33? 300 second I have converted to the minutes back again. This is the easiest way, so that this minimize the error. So now 8.4 divided by 5.33 into 10 power minus 2, because this value is already in the minus 2, 10 power minus 2. That's minus 2. Now you divide these two things, then you get 1.58 into 10 power minus 2 liter per mole per second. Okay, this is by graph rate constant. And if you see that by theoretically rate constant, whatever the calculation wise you have got it, is 1.65 10 power minus 2, and where you are getting through graph is 1.58 minus 2. So almost is the same. So what you supposed to do now? I have shown you some values on yesterday titration in the during the practical examination. So you will be able to use that values and make a graph, make all the calculation and make a graph yourself, and see whether those points are fitting with the straight line or not, and whether are you able to calculate the rate constant and all these other values, x by a into a minus x, all the things you should practice and plot the graphs, and you should practice this one. Okay, if the graph is not fitting properly, which means there is some error in the practical, or maybe error in the solutions, or it's a maybe manual error, so we need to redo the experiments accordingly. Okay, this is how we finish this practical experiment. And if you have any doubts and if you have anything, then you may discuss with your practical teacher during the practical classes. Thank you all. So if you have any other doubts related to the experiment, you want to contact me. My name is Dr. Jayakumar, and you can also contact Dr. Ramanathan. We did this experiment over here. Thank you.